Alright, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic / Non-Classics. This is episode number 2856, Doubleshot number 2750. First discussing an actual trade, Superman and Lois Lane, the 25th anniversary edition of The Wedding and Beyond. Yep. This book collects Superman Volume 2 118, The Wedding Album, Adventure Superman 541, Action Comics 728, Superman The Man of Steel 63. I'm also going to be discussing Superman Volume 2 issues 19 and 21, Adventure Superman 542 to 545, Action Comics 729 to 731, Man of Steel. Superman The Man of Steel 63, 64, 66, and Superman Man of Tomorrow issues 7 and 8. So, first we start with issue 728, where guest appearance by Wonder Woman. Yeah, Dan Jurgens for this one. Basically, the whole thing is basically for the past year since she left Metropolis, she's basically doing BR4 correspondence stuff. Meets up with this guy, and of course, Superman is here trying to get his powers back. This is a recurring plot thread that continues even after the storyline wraps up. Yeah, they wrap it up with the following storyline. This whole thing of him getting his powers back, where he can fly. I think he uses heat vision, extra vision. It's just his super strength is not there. His super strength and his eventual skin stuff. So he's not completely powerless per se, but he has some power, not much. So yeah, after Lois Lane climbs this mountain with this guy here. Of course, Clark still loves Lois, and of course, she gets after finishing climbing the mountain, she realizes though, yeah, I should probably go home, marry Clark. And then comes the wedding album, where, okay, now, yeah, she puts on a wedding dress here. Now, here are your writers and artists. I'm gonna list them all, and basically. Now, the reason why, because these guys these people did an amazing job with this one shot, the wedding album. The writers are Dan Jurgens, Carl Kitzler, Dave Michelinie, Louis Simonson, and Roger Stern. All of the regular writers. Dan Jurgens writes Superman. Carl Kitzler, I think he does Adventures of Superman. And Louis Simonson does Superman of Steel. I think Dave Leitch does Action Comics, Archer does Superman Man Tomorrow. The artists are John Byrne, Terry Austin, Kerry Gibble, Murphy Anderson, Gail Kane, Bob McLean, Stuart Ibman, Jose Martinez Jr., Paul Ryan, Brett Beating, John Bagavia, Dennis Jake, Karen Doyer, Doug Hazelwood, Tom Grammett, Dennis Ritter, Dick Giordano, Art Turbot, Jim Mooney, George Perez, Kurt Swan, Justin Goose, Nick Candy, Al Perzito, Barry Kitson, Roy McCarthy, Ron Frisch, Joe Robertson, Dan Jurgens, and Jerry Ordway. 84-page one-shot. So, we have Lois basically, doing a fake wedding to start with. And then she's, back home Metropolis. Yeah, and Clark basically is still being the acting managing editor. Yeah, need your signature stuff. Everyone take a number. Lois. Alice, Allie, anything from Lois? Sorry, Mr. Kent. Miss Lane hasn't followed the story in weeks. Well, why didn't you find out if she used the company credit card lately? She's still on the planet staff, so I want to know where she is. If she isn't filing, I want to know why. And I want to know now. And of course, he still misses Lois. He still has in his pocket the gauge ring that Lois left behind. And then Lois comes back in a torn wedding dress. Lois, what are you doing here? You happy to see me? So, they go in the office. They have a chat. It's like, oh yeah, basically Clark reveals that he's acting managing editor. Back Perry's got cancer. Lois had no idea, and Perry's been close to her for years. Yeah, apparently he's also partial to some of his powers. Since the whole Final Night stuff. So, yeah, so Then of course she realizes for handkerchief, and apparently she's shocked the fact he still has the engagement ring, and it's like, why do you still have this? Maybe the same reason Metropolis. He says to her, "I love you, Lois. I always. Is there any chance you still love me? Like, I do love you, Clark, more. Anything possible. It's not that simple. I am sorry. You can't get out of this, man. You can't do it right. Like, you're an opposite stubborn woman, Lois Lane. Will you marry me?" And of course, yep, they're engaged again. Yeah, and of course Clark works out. Of course, his mom tops over a cookie, basically a coffee pot. He can't get fast enough because he has super speed. And then we have Jonathan put on a suit, and of course Clark puts on and rips. Like, oh no, sorry, Pa. So, yeah. Oh, by the way, Jimmy is asked not to be the photographer for Clark's wedding, be his best man. And I bet Pete Ross is real happy about that because he grew up with him. He probably thought, oh, maybe Pete Ross is the best man. Nope, it's Jimmy Olsen. And of course, like about the wedding, of course, you have Sam basically being like, embarrassing his head. Because he still thinks that Clark left her, even though she left him. He's very stubborn. And then he opens the door like, oh, it's Martha. Yep. Now, I would love to see a scene where Martha has a scene with Ellie Lane, Lois's mom. That would have been nice. Yeah. Ooh. So, Daddy, have you got your don't you have a random tuck something? In a while, baby, after I tighten these bolts. And you're gonna, like, stick around for a while? Be here when the girls show up for Lois' surprise bridal shower? I'll get my jacket. Yeah, so basically goes for a tux fitting with Clark and with Perry White and Jonathan Kent. So they play in the bridal shower, and of course, Sam's like, "You finally come to Logan to marry you. You know, I'm lucky." He doesn't seem very happy. And of course, like, come back like, oh, it's like the bridal shower. And then we have the tux fitting. It's like, and of course you have, what are you size, sir? 36. Yep, 36. How about you? 42 if I'm lucky. Guess the old diet's off. What's your waist, dearie? 42. Waist? 44. Now, don't suck it in now, dear. No, 46. Yep. Huh, reminds me, the time we were being fitted for uniforms. Oh, you took part in. You were in the army too, weren't you, Jonathan? Yep, Korea. Nasty business. Every sorry country. And of course you have Jonathan like thinking that Perry is a donkey's rear end. Guess. And of course like the crockpot, and then we have where Perry basically is there trying. Of course, like, oh, suit and of course they find a suit, go for him, and it's one basically a model would wear, because Clark is freaking huge. He is a massive bodybuilder. Like, he's got humongous shoulders. He must have like he's got wide shoulders, but he's massively built. And then of course, like, they try wedding dresses. The first one's like, what the heck is this? Yeah, Lois is not like the first wedding dress. She does like the second one. And Mother's like, a bit too warm. You're not thinking wearing that. I'm like, what's wrong with this outfit? It's fine. And then we have a bit nicer one. And of course, Mom's like, nope. And then of course, you have Clark basically just putting the description on the ring. I'm doing a honeymoon. So yeah, by the way, they have the engagement. They have the rehearsal at the club, the Ace of Clubs, a bar run by Bilbo Bolsky, Superman and someone fan. Clark describes as a good man because he's a good person. Yeah. So of course you have Lois looking at an apartment, which this apartment she looks in is the very apartment that she still has this very day with Clark. Yeah, because I'll be a little bit later about that. Because this actually turned out to be a very good gift from a very, very important friend of Clark's. So yeah, so Lucy, of course, you have Maggie Sawyer chipping with some crime stuff, and well, I'm surprised Maggie's not invited to the wedding. That would have been quite interesting, to say at least. That Maggie Sawyer, and then of course we have like a fire at the Ace of Clubs. Yep. So everything's burned, but everything gets fixed in time, no problem. Clark's like, oh yeah, and of course like, job for Superman. Me, very angry. He just shows up and just spooks out the guy. It's like, okay, call the police and make sure no one touches that gun before anyone gets here. Yes, sir. And then Maxima basically is mad at him because he's human now. And then you have Ellie and Martha have a good girl talk. Martha and I gotta go to the kitchen for Coca and a little girl talk. And then we have Jonathan and Sam. Actually, Jonathan and Perry. Like, I've wondered, I never thank you for convincing me he was smoking. But Perry, well, you got lung cancer. Yeah, also, Perry lost a ton of weight thanks to his chemo. Yeah, and like, Jimmy's already there. And then Pete Ross is here, too. And, of course, basically, it's like, shoot some 8-ball. Yeah, and of course he gets mad. And of course he throws him out the window. I'm sure his insurance not gonna happen with that. Yep. And he comes back in, and of course a fight breaks out. And then we have like a bridal party. We have like little presents. We have Lois underwear, and of course this guy who's hitting on Lois, which of course he can't take no for an answer, so she proceeds to trip him. And, like, yeah. They're, like, not interested. Of course, Clark gets angry, beats people up. And then Batman shows up. Yes, frickin' Batman. Like, shall we talk? In the past, you expect misgivings about marriage change your mind. Yes, I have. The truth is, I've never been sure if this is my life. Foreign to you. The concept isn't. Yeah, the concept of him being married is not foreign to him. It just basically he hasn't settled on a woman yet. Like, the thing is, Talia wants to be his wife, but he's not interested, and he wants Selena Kyle. Yes, he doesn't want to marry the mother of his only child. Of course, this is years before. This came out years before Damien's debut, and so yeah, it's really this conversation that Bruce Wayne owns the building that Lois got her apartment in. So Bruce Wayne got Clark and Lois an apartment as a wedding present. I'm like, not a bad idea. Oh, another wedding present? Who's going to Metropolis while he goes on his honeymoon? Why, it's these fine people. This will surprise you. Tim Drake, Black Canary, Connor, probably his vacation from Hawaii. This might goes back to Hawaii after this. This is a bit confusing here. Connor, Steel, Wonder Woman, Kyle Rayner, Guardian, Captain Marvel, Alpha Centauri, and March Manhunter along with the Flash. Great splash page. I love this. This is awesome. Yep, so like, good question. Fire away. Look, you're a photographer for your wedding. I will do a great job. Do I know you can't handle that? Can too. No one could be a decent photographer, and the best man is. Do you accept me? Yes. Jimmy Olsen is the best man, not Pete Ross. My guess is probably the reason why they did this because Jimmy's a regular in the book, and Pete has been because Pete's been recurring. So, and of course they have to take away the shrimp rib because Laurie's allergic to shrimp, despite the fact that Jimmy really wants that shrimp. And of course, basically, he ran a story on her that she was not happy with, or of course, he ran a story on Lex too. It's like, well, you accuse me of traffic so quite well. That story should have been aired. I was stickered by a bad source. He ever forgive you? Yes, Jimmy, I can accept your apology. But in the future, try to let your ambition get away important things. Ambition. It's like, But lucky I was wearing my Lightfall suit. Jonathan, I swear that joke is old. Not to Martha, I can't. Not to Keith, Martha. And of course, he was like, "It's Perry. Gee, he's lost some weight." Chief, also, have you run into some trouble? Yeah. And of course, I run into the police commissioner. I think it's Henderson, I believe it is. Came with the ranks. We also get a chance to meet, Clark gets a chance to meet Fran. Basically, Clark gets a chance to meet her husband, Lamar, who's in the military. And Clark basically just, well, he's respectful toward him and just thanks him for his service, like I was with all veterans. And, well, the fact that he's just good friends with Fran. Actually, we're Lois, my friend of her. Yep. Really career. That would be a mayor. And then, of course, Sam proceeds to basically ruin the mood. And he tries to leave with his wife. His wife's like, "Nope, you can go home on your own," because he's being a jerk. Because he is not in control. It's like he's more pay attention more to Lois and his other daughter, Lucy. And then we have the wedding. Oh, by the way, it's revealed the thing that Fran and Lamar got kids. And Lex watches on. He does not get interfere in this wedding because he may not like Clark and Lois, but he's not going to interrupt the wedding because he himself is married to a beautiful woman who he had killed off in a Secret Orders one shot via freaking missiles. And this happened right after she gave birth to their daughter. She really, it's like as soon as basically she gave him a child, he wanted to immediately divorce her. Ava's turn shows up. Of course, he pees at the back of he first church temple, which is fine. It's kind of a temple anyways. He pees back of the thing. Yeah, and then of course you have Jimmy mentioned Superman, and Clark. Now here's the thing: Jimmy at this point does not know Clark is Superman. He does not find out the countdown, which is later ignored. It's just mixing. Just show up, have a little fun. And then begin the ceremony. Every time, of course, you have Ron being escorted by Lamar, who's... We have Ron basically being like the groomsman. We have the Rosses. Yeah, and then, of course, Lamar's kids basically ask, like, "Papa, who's that man walk with Mama?" How come Mama? Because I'm not sure. You see, the escorts escort the bridesmaid. I'll explain her. That's Commissioner Henderson. Ashia. Yeah. Now, I thought this was a really cool panel. The fact they included this in here. The fact that you have Fran and Lamar, their kids there, and basically they're curious like why he's not with his wife, and who's that man? Of course, he's the police commissioner. Apparently, Clark known him for years. And then we have Keith, Perry, and Alice's adopted son being the ring bearer. And apparently, it's because Sam decided to be a jerk and leave. Basically, Clark escorts his bride down the aisle. Also, she notes the fact that he cut his hair. So, the mullet he had since Death of Superman is gone. Yeah, mullet's all gone. Yep. Yeah, it's completely gone. So, this is the last time we see with a mullet. And, of course, Sam goes to the problem. Of course, Sam shows up, too. And he does not be a jerk. He just basically be polite. He just is like, "Oh, excuse me, is a seat taken?" And he shows up, just sits down. Is like, "Don't you dare. Not for the world." Yep. And of course they have the wedding goes a hitch, and then we have this whole issue is like the Adventures of Superboy, and he's like back, and of course they go on the honeymoon. Oh yeah, it's real that basically that Lana's present for them is tickets to Hawaii for their honeymoon. And of course, Lex basically offers a limousine. Nah, basically a sports car. like a Lamborghini, which these things are expensive. Now, she does mention how she got this car. She saved the prince in a foreign country, so as a favor, he got this car for her. And of course, they go and they hang out in Hawaii for a bit, and of course, they have Emil Hamilton. Yeah, there's a fire, but Superboy basically handles it, and of course, he does not put in his costume this whole issue, and then, then they get separated thanks to stuff in Hawaii. Yeah, where he gets kidnapped. Yes, Clark gets kidnapped. He gets kidnapped as Superman. Of course, you have the Man of Steel issue where he's kidnapped by this rich guy who's being a jerk, so Lois goes after him with combo pants. Yeah, then he gets beaten up because he's not Superman at this point, and then he frees her. And then, of course, he decides to be a jerk, and, then he proceeds to, after his men capture them, Lois is stripped of her pants and her boots, where she's got basically still her top on, but so it's implied off panel the men may remove her shoes. Off panel, because here she is in one panel wearing the pants and combat boots, and next panel she's basically showing off her sexy legs. And Clark, being what a husband should be, is like, you touch her again and you'll lose your hand. And of course that they break out, and of course she ends up hitting him, knocking him out, not killing him. And of course they run away. Oh, and not sure why she took off her pants. Was this guy that much of a pervert that he demanded his men to move her combat pants and her boots? So yeah. And all parachuting away while everybody escape. And that's the trade for you. It is absolutely amazing, this particular trade here. I give Superman, this deluxe edition for Wedding Album, a 10 out of 10. It is awesome. Really, really good. Yep. Next up is the very few issues that came after this whole thing wrapped up. First, starting with Superman Volume 2, number 119. This starts the Power Struggle storyline guest starring League of Superheroes. Which, in this opening issue, they reference the events of Superman versus the Predator. Yep. And the whole thing with the story is called Power Struggle. Starts issue 119. And by the way, the wedding, the whole story with that's from late 1986. Right now, we're in the year of 1997. Well, actually, still kind of... They say it's all kind of the year 1997 already, so... Yeah, we're in 1997. What's continued... The whole thing of the story isn't trying to get back his power. And first, you have the lead superheroes show up. This is actually the post-Zero version of them. Yep, and then we have him working Project Catamus. And by the end of the storyline, Part 2 is 542 of Adventure Superman. Part 3 is Superman, is Action Comics 729. Which takes name Tolos, who is not Telos. It's a completely different character. This entity from the second Kandor, and this is a return for him. This actually was time he appeared since 725 in this book. He's appeared one more time after this, and that's been it for him. Yeah, this is part 3. Part 4 is Superman Man of Steel 64, which guest stars Big Bird, Mr. Miracle, and the Guardian. And they continue over Superman Tomorrow, number 7. Well, here's the thing. Man of 64 concludes the Power Circle story arc. Because with that, basically, got his powers back, and then we have Maxim being a villain again in Man of Tomorrow, number 7. And 120. Yeah. So, they continue kind of doing it afterwards, where by the end of this, then we have 543, the debut of the Superman Revenge Squad, made up of Atomali, Mirage, Missa, Riot, and its character who just to be part of this, and Yeah, this issue here is their debut appearance. This version of the Superman Prince Squad is around for a very brief period of time. Starts at issue 543. Continues in 730. And then 65, which I think concludes the group. They kind of get defeated. Moving on to Superman 121. We guest appearance by Lauren Jupiter from the Teen Titans. Yeah, in his sole appearance ever in Superman. Yep. I think this book came. I think this at the time when this issue came out. I think this was prior to his return to Teen Titans. Actually, no. I think it was during his return to Teen Titans. Yeah, between one of the issues, he make quick guest appearance in here. For this one issue here. And it's all about Suicide Slum. And jump into 544. Where Superman deals with Intergang. We have debut of characters like Roughhouse, Noose, Mike Gunn, and Torch. We have also the Vincent Edge. He's the father of Morgan Edge. He gets killed off in this issue. Probably because Morgan Edge wants to take over the gang. And we went to Action Comics 731. Where it deals with Return of Cauldron. Yep, actually his debut of a new Cauldron. This is a different character. He's a one-shot character. We also have a debut of... We also have a guy named Kevin Crow. He's a clone of the original one. This actually was his last appearance. Yep. And moving on to Superman Manitoba number 8. Where it's Superman versus a guy called Rock. It's a leftover for the Revenge Squad stuff. And moving on to Superman Steel 66, which is basically just a day in Clark's life. We also deal with this woman named Simone Denenge. Yeah, she actually had returned in 543. Yeah, where she's hired as the marketing director for the Daily Planet to boost their circulation, and she's an acquaintance of Clark's. Debuted during Zero Hour, and that's it. Really good set of issues. It's basically like back in Metropolis. Everything's like back normal. Some of the normal stuff here. Great stuff. I love this stuff. I'm going to give these issues roughly a 9 out of 10. Yep. So, and the reason why I stop here with this issue here, with Action Comics, actually with Superman Man of Steel 66, the reason why, because next with Superman Blue, which I discussed the trade already, so, next, because anything Superman will be stuff after Blue, and it's going to be a lot of issues to discuss. If you're really curious, like, basically, for Action Comics, it is, like, going to be probably about 2 or 3 rounds of this thing. Basically, between Blue and City of Tomorrow, it's like, for Action Comics, it is 25 issues. For Revenge of Superman, it's, well, for Action Comics, it's going to be 735 to 759. Avengers Superman 548 to 572. Superman Volume 2 issues 126 to 150. Yeah, 25 straight issues for that one. Man of Steel issues 70 to 94. So a lot of it's going to be 25 issues. Will I do 25 issues next time I talk about this? I don't think so. I don't think I will. Honestly. Yep. Excuse me. Yep. So, yeah. It's going to be a lot to discuss here, so. Looking up, basically, the City Tomorrow cover the trades. Limits, endgames to this part in current condition. Yeah, look how they covered all that stuff, so I don't have to worry about it. But I'm going to have to basically find a way to cover 25 straight issues for all these comics. As for Man of Tomorrow, could it be the rest of the series? I don't know. Because for Man of Tomorrow, with this review, I have roughly 7 more issues left to go for the whole series, plus issue 1,000,000. Yep. But yeah, that's pretty much it, particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications, and do hit the like button. So, next up is Ultra 7. And then I'll have more comic corners by then. Probably 1, not 3. I did 3 to start with just to get these out of the way. Okay? But see you in the next video. Bye.